Daz. Well, it's about time I looked at some of these radios. Not sure where I got half of them from. Probably BVWS and Radio Rallies. There's a little collection of radios here. I've got to have a look at my Tomato radio because I discovered that the tuning scale appears to be on backwards, because I can see 1600, nothing, then 540, so that needs looking at, I guess. So what have we got here then? Well, we've got a little ANIC medium wave radio, something like I might have had when I was a boy in the early 70s. There's the Sanyo, I guess that's 70s, that's an AM FM. Got an earphone socket, RP5047A, a Bush Sigma 2, wonder if there's a model number, BV5672, it's got AFC, interesting, and a realistic 12714A. Now I know this one's got a fault, but I haven't looked at the rest, so I'm just going to look through them and just see what the situation is and have a look inside. It's always interesting to have a look inside, isn't it? Well, this one looks a little worse for wear, but the case for the capacitor's missing. Ferrite rod's a bit loose, but only a 5 transistor, single IF, just a single yellow core. It's these blob tops, so I'd imagine it's silicon. Runs on a PP3 9-volt battery. Let's pop a battery in and see if anything happens. Whoop, get off that. Yep, that one basically works. Yeah, and the control's okay, so yep, that's a worker. Just looking inside the bush, that's obviously had a battery leak. Transformerless design. Now I'm counting 11 transistors here. I guess they're all silicon. So conventional 2 transistors for the FM, etc. Shared IF, local oscillator for medium wave. There's 5 transistors in the output stage. Now there is a little circuit diagram here. Very difficult to read, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's interesting. So that's one less transistor than I'm counting. Maybe one's used for a diode, but yeah, that's an interesting radio. Oh, there's a detector diode there. Should be a pair somewhere on the FM side. Oh, there's another one there. Oh, I'll be looking for a pair, but I'll discriminate. But I can only see 2 single ones. Oh well, I'm sure it's here somewhere. Another diode there. Always difficult for me to work out which is which. So many different colours. Oh yes, I see the second diode hiding under there, so that's probably discriminated for FM then. Nice bit of shielding there. Linked. I don't know if the capacitors are any good, but let's pop some batteries in or something, or power pack. Okay. Ooh, that could do with a clean, couldn't it? Yeah. In meters still, so this is going to be... Yeah, that seems fairly okay on medium wave. I think things need a clean.
2020.
Okay, that's good then. Just needs some contact cleaner in this pot, I guess. Let's see if I can get it down the holes inside it. Might work, might not. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's much better. Yes, I'm just a bit in the wave change switch, I think, as well. Probably all I need to do to that one, and it's got a good aerial on, so yeah, okay. So yeah, good aerial on this one, so that's good. So that's probably all I need to do to that one. Well, just looking at the Sanyo, 8 transistors in this one. Again, it runs off 6 volts. Telescopic aerial is bust. I wonder if I can find something to replace it. So 2 for the FM, 2 IFs. Looks of it. I wonder if one is shared for medium wave. Very difficult to say. No circuit diagram in this one. Doesn't seem an awful lot of transistors in this one. I don't expect this one to be particularly sensitive. There's a little diode there on the push-pull. So again, transformerless. So that's the sort of state of the play then, I guess. I guess this one's late 70s as well. Well, let's pop some power on. Oh! Well, FM seems to be working. That needs some contact cleaner as well. Yep, I think we better spray this. Well, that's certainly a lot better now. That's getting Caroline, so that's alright. Yeah, that seems to work reasonably alright on medium wave. FM, it's picking up quite well considering the amount of transistors it's got in it. Yeah, surprisingly good. I'm still trying to figure out how this is done with only 8 transistors. It must share the mixer for FM or something, or it's got no RF state. But you wouldn't be able to do that because you get too much radiation, surely. So it's got me slightly puzzled how that's done. Looks like it's only got 2 IF transistors. Very strange. Difficult without the circuit diagram, but it's still quite sensitive considering this one has got 3 less transistors than the bush. So I just need to find an aerial for that, and I think that one is worker. Well, not the best aerial substitution, but at least it gives me an aerial to use. I also noticed the aerial's actually attached to this test point, which is interesting. I wonder if it fell off and someone couldn't be bothered to remove the tuning scale. Well, here's the tomato. Just 5 transistors, 3 in the audio. Looks of it. 1 in the IF. Minus the mixer converter RF amp. So just the 1 IF core there. The oscillator core and the demodulator one. So not a lot in there. So I wonder if someone has stuck this on 180 degrees out. Yeah, that's what it looks like, doesn't it? See, it's a tap ferrite rod. So low impedance tap. So I guess this has got a notch in, I guess. Yeah, just reverse this and there we go, and I'll be able to tune it. Tomato has been fixed. Right. Nice open design of pot there. I'll just trickle some in. There we go. That's enough, I think. There we go. But make sure I put the thing the right way round. There we go. So that that's not reversed like the tuning scale was. Right. That's better. Pretty deaf. And I think there's a dry joint on here somewhere. Just about gets my local station, and that's just about it. So it needs a retrim, and we'll check for dry joints. Well, the lack of sensitivity was actually a bad connection from the ferrite rod, so that'll explain a lot. It's now been resoldered, and I've had to replace the ground wire because it's actually been affected by a battery leakage. I've also put a tiny bit of deoxidant on the variable capacitor where the two bits of metal rub to get commutation, as it were, and it stopped it crackling as you tune it, but it's not brilliant, but a lot more lively than it was. Decided I am going to do a quick alignment. I'm going to just guess that this is 455. I'm just using my ear. You won't hear much difference with the automatic gain control of the camcorder. I find it quite difficult to determine the markings on here because 1600 only just comes out here where I'd expect it halfway, so I'm going to take that position and say 600 kilohertz is there, and I'll adjust it according to that. So adjust the oscillator. I can't even find it. Interesting. I can't. Oh, there it is. I must confess that is rather close to the top. Very close to the top. Ideally, I would have trimmed this ferrite rod at 600 kilohertz as well, but it's so waxed on. But I'm just going to use 1.3 meg or 1300 for the top end. I determined that one's the oscillator, and this is the area trimmer. There's no real definite resonance. I think it's about there. Oh well, that was a very quick and dirty alignment. Let's see if it's any better. Yeah, that's an improvement. I can hear Caroline now. Not wonderfully, but
Joe Biden is the winner. President Trump tweeted in...
Right. Okay, this one. Now, this has got a very strange fault with it.
A contrast in...
Now, this is the medium wave band.
Involved, juggled academia with...
And the station it's picking up is Radio 4 long wave. So, either something's gone really wrong with the local oscillator in this, or somebody's modified it to receive long wave instead of medium wave. Very odd. It got me puzzled. I thought, well, why can't I hear many stations on medium wave? And then I realised it was picking up long wave. So, yeah, this one's going to be very interesting, this realistic. Well, there isn't a lot in this one, is there? Well, there's our FM front end and mixer. Everything else is done by this IC. It's an audio amp, IF amp, RF oscillator for medium wave. Not quite sure what is what here, but I'm sure I can work it out. I'll have to look for the data sheet for the IC and have a look at that. So, yeah, is there any signs that anyone's done anything particular to it? Not really. I see that there's a 10.7 filter there. Very interesting. Well, I should be able to get the data sheet and then I'll know which pin to poke in order to work out what the local oscillator's doing. Well, here the radio is folded out of its case. There is a dial cord indeed, very compact one. A small metal tuning scale. I can't see that there's been any mods done to this. Can't see anything underneath, and doesn't seem to be anything on top. So for some reason it is receiving long wave, so the local oscillator must be miles out. Why is that? I understand this IC's got discriminator tuning, so not discriminator, quadrature tuning, quadrature detector. Bet that's what that is. Question is, right, so here's the front end, our mixer, I bet that's 10.7. Wonder if that's the local oscillator tuning, and this is the IF for the medium wave AM section, so that's what I think I've got here. So looking at the data sheet, local oscillator is on 8. There's the tuning capacitor. There's the ferrite rod, I assume. Goes into 7. So I wonder if I look at 8, I can see the local oscillator. Well, that's very interesting. The local oscillator is at 642. Seems a tad low. That might explain why it's picking up long wave. Question is, which one is it? I think it's this one. Yes, it is. See these two capacitors here? They shouldn't be there. So somebody actually has modified this radio to receive long wave. What? And here's my big problem. Without a circuit diagram, I don't know what capacitor should go, I think, between that pin and that pin, so I'm not sure. So there was some sort of padding. Oh, so that's going to make it a bit more difficult for me. Yeah, so what was the padding capacitor? Well, I've removed one of the capacitor, well, both the capacitors, and now I've got 1.41 megahertz on the local oscillator, which sounds a little bit more like what it should be. Question is, what is that missing capacitor? And is it across the ferrite rod, or is it across the local oscillator? Well, after setting the 600 kilohertz, I've also adjusted the ferrite rod. Despite the fact I've got this missing capacitor, its sensitivity is good. It's picking up Caroline really well, so perhaps somebody knows what capacitor should be in here. It looks like it is on the oscillator circuit, but as I said, it seems to be tracking pretty well, so yeah, that looks about the right place for Caroline to BV5648, so the tracking's generally quite good, and the FM seems good, so I think I'll leave it at that with this one. But as I said, if someone does know what the capacitor is, then please let me know in the comments. I discovered this IC can drive an 8 ohm speaker, so the only reason I think they put a 32 in is just to limit the current being drawn off a battery of this size. I guess if you're trying to get over half a watt from a PP3, and it's a zinc one like this one is, I think you'd struggle a bit. So maybe that's why they decided to put a 32 ohm in. But it's a nice little radio, and I always have liked realistic Tandy stuff, and so I'm pleased to have this one going. I guess from the date on the chip, this is 1984, so not particularly old. It's 80s, but it's got more of a 70s styling, I'd say. Okay.
You're used to things now.
It was an absolutely key Trump signature.
Yeah, very sensitive. Yeah, good performer. like this radio. So, which has the best sound quality? Let's have a listen. That one. I think it's the Bush. Yeah, I think the Bush sounds slightly better. I think it might have a slightly bigger speaker, I'm not sure. It does look like it might be. So there we go. Anyway, at least I've got these radios partially working. I need a new battery hold for this one. And as usual, I go to my box and the only one I haven't got is the 4-way AA battery one. So I'll have to get some of them on order, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you found that interesting, just having a look round. We didn't replace any capacitors. Oh well. Anyway, I'll see you soon.